Hi everyone. Hi everyone. Welcome to What's New in Revit 2025 webinar. My name is Florian Tan and I'm a Revit technical specialist here in Cadgroup. Today we're going to discuss several features, upgrades and bug fix. So stay tuned. So before we start, Cadgroup is a customer-centric company delivering best-in-class design, construction, and manufacturing technologies for over 3 decades. Customers view us as trusted advisors, enabling their business to achieve technology objectives on time, on budget. So let's begin. The new features in Revit 2025 fall under these 6 key themes. There are design productivity, sustainability, analysis, interoperability, cloud and data, and documentation efficiency. So here's a list of features for design productivity. Some core features include Dynamo for Revit that has been updated to 3.03. If you are using Dynamo, you can see that it works well now with nodes. So Revit has been upgraded to incorporate Microsoft's .NET 8 framework as well, and they also enhance Revit Personal Accelerator UI and Revit Macro Tools renovation. So we'll go through each section and some demonstration for these new features and enhancements. Moreover, we'll discuss more on documentation efficiency, such as sheet collections, background PDF export, and batch delete and add to library for materials. So let's discuss design productivity in Revit 2025. So create walls with auto join and lock is one of the new features for Revit 2025. This new feature allows newly created architectural walls that can be automatically joined with adjacent walls, either joining only or joining and locking them together. So any elements inserted into the walls, such as doors and windows, will penetrate both walls, but there are limitations. So complex cuts won't cut through both aligned lock walls, only simple cuts will. In this video, we demonstrate how the basic wall with auto join will work in Revit 2025. So we'll first draw a double wall without enabling auto join, and we can see that doors do not penetrate on double walls. So this is the video on how it will work. So we will insert doors. As you can see, it will not penetrate. And while when we enable auto join, upon inserting doors, we can see it went through and through. Yeah. We'll check on 3D view as well. So you can see the doors penetrates on double walls. So in this video, we will demonstrate how the basic wall with auto join and lock will work in Revit 2025. So we need to enable auto join and lock first, and the workflow is similar. You can see that there is a lock icon to see that it is locked together. So we'll put doors, and it's the same as earlier with auto join. And while putting window, it also penetrates both walls. So again, the auto join and lock options are only available for architectural walls, not for structural walls, face-based walls, stock walls, or curtain walls. So in Canvas wall wrapping controls. So users can now control whether wall end wrapping conditions are allowed or disallowed in plan views. So when wall layer wrapping is enabled for wall ends, users can change the wrapping behavior of each wall end using a control located near the wall end. So this control is only visible when the wall is selected in a plan view, and clicking it allows users to change the wrapping behavior of the layers at the wall end. So the bottom line is the feature aims to speed up the process of representing wall wrappings by providing controls for users to manage wrapping conditions in plan views. So in this video, we will demonstrate how the wall wrapping control ends work. So multiple loop Boolean profiles. So in previous versions, we have seen that creating multiple loops will prompt an error. This could refrain users to create a detailed representation of Booleans. In Revit 2025, curtain wall Booleans now support profiles with multiple loops, including voided profiles. So however, Boolean profiles cannot have open loops. In conclusion, this advancement allows for a higher level of development in representing Booleans with curtain walls. So this is a sample error message we can see on previous versions, such as Revit 2024. So while on Revit 2025, you can see that intricate detail is now possible. So however, we advise users not to overcomplicate details for the file not to get too heavy while working on large projects. So you can now, so we will discuss single element or empty arrays in families. So you can now flex both linear and radial arrays to values of 1 or 0 in the family editor. Works as expected for both linear and radical arrays. So it's only available within the family editor environment. So the bottom line is it's greater modeling flexibility using families with array components. So we will now demonstrate how arrays of 1 and 0 in families will work. So we will set a specific number from 5 to 3, then 3 to 2, and then 2 to 1, and 1 to 0. So you can see that it's you can also change the number of these elements in the array from the under the modify tab, properties panel, to families types, to dialog, and other. So we'll now discuss top of surface conversion for pads. So when working with legacy files containing top of surfaces in building pads, converting the top of surface to a top of solid retains the building pads as excavated areas on the top of solid. The legacy top of surfaces and building pads are preserved alongside the top of solid, so you can now control its visibility under the topography category. The bottom line is its downstream top of surface upgrades while maintaining design intent. We will now demonstrate in this video how Generate Top of Solid works. So first, let's select Generate Top of Solid, and let's select the base level to foundation. You can see that it changes accordingly, and we can now delete. So in Revit 2024, it doesn't generate any building pads, but in Revit 2025, Generate Top of Solid creates an excavation. So what's topsoiled by face? So topsoiled by face can be created on any vertical faces of a mass using the topsoiled by face tool. So the related mass to mass parameter can be inspected to confirm if the topsoiled is created from mass. So it's not possible to select faces from different masses for the same topsoiled. So the bottom line of this feature expanded options to represent complex topography. So in this video, we will demonstrate how topsoiled by face will work. So under massing site, let's select place mass onto the topsoiled. Let's select the mass and then select the face of your choice. We can also change these properties to generic or generic residence depending on your project requirements. So excavations on topsoiled. So in Revit 2025, building pads doesn't exist. So if you have previous version of Revit, for example, Revit 2023, you can create topo surface, then convert it to the latest Revit version. So there are also limitations for stem from geometry and technical difficulties in Boolean operations. So these features, there is an enhanced control over topography cutouts. So we'll now show you how excavation works on topsoiled. So let's first select topsoiled. Under Modify, click Excavate, and pick the floor. So Revit will excavate it accordingly. So after selection, you can add slope under Edit Boundary. And selecting slope, arrow, let's put height offset to 500. Click check, and that's it. The slope is activated. So we'll also add how cut geometry works in Revit 2025. First, let's create a wall. Upon selection of the wall, you can see under Dimensions, the volume of the wall. We will now extend the wall by applying base offset to -800 and click Apply. On 3D view under Wireframe, we can see that the wall is offset. We'll now switch it to Realistic View. Let's select the site. Under Modify Topography, let's select Cut Geometry. We'll select the top of first, then the wall to excavate. We will now see how much the total excavated volume on topsoiled on Properties. So excavation volume parameters. Excavation parameters allow for precise measurement of soil removed by Boolean operations from topsoids. Two new parameters are introduced. First, individual excavation volume leads to a dialog showing all cutter elements that cut the topsoiled. Secondly, the total excavation volume indicates the total soil removed from the topsoiled instance. Schedules can be created for these parameters. Utilize schedule filters to display volumes by topsoiled types. Employ a multi-category schedule with filters to display all elements cutting a topsoiled instance. So in conclusion, these enhancements offer a more accurate and efficient method for quantifying excavation volumes. Shafts opening enhancements. So in previous versions, shaft openings would cut through the entire toposolid elements. Now, the bottom of the shaft is respected as a depth limit of the cut-off. Note that the cut-off volume by a shaft is not tracked in schedules. Use a floor, roof, or mass excavation instead. So the bottom line is enhanced representations of cut-off made by shafts in toposolid. So in this video, we will demonstrate how shaft opening works in Revit 2025. So let's create shaft opening on toposolid by clicking shaft. Select the shape according to your choice. Click check after selection. We can see that we can adjust it thoroughly by dragging down the arrow and then pulling it up and down as well. So you can adjust it. So excavated surfaces host elements. So in previous versions, face-based families couldn't recognize faces created from Boolean operations. In Revit 2025, exposed surfaces of a cut toposolid can now host other elements. Site components will recognize the exposed face as a toposolid. So the Boolean surface functions as the original surface of the toposolid element when hosting elements like railings or planting elements. In conclusion, this enhancement offers increased modeling flexibility in excavations, allowing for more dynamic placement of elements on Boolean surfaces. In summary, enabling toposolid smooth shading in the side panel dropdown smooths the display of toposolid elements, removing triangulated appearance at a project level. So you can see on the screen that it is more smoother than previous versions and it's more realistic. So this smooth shading features is a great way to give presentations on your projects. But there are also limitations when this smooth shading enabled. So the surface patterns, there are model patterns or drafting patterns of solids are not displayed when toposolid smooth shading is enabled. So decals cannot be placed on smooth toposolids, and material display cannot be overridden with paint or graphic overrides. And if the toposolid is an Revit link, it must be smooth in the original Revit file, then reloaded to see the smooth shading in the host file. So let's discuss contour display when editing. So contour lines are now visible in slab shape editor mode if they are invisible in the view, enhancing the editing experience. So previously, contour lines were not visible in toposolid editing mode. The display of contours responds to visibility graphic overrides and the contour setting in toposolid type properties. In essence, these improvements offer enhanced control and experience when editing contours. So we'll now show you how simplified toposolid buttons are now easily accessible. So we can access them by selecting top of first and change the number of points by percentage according to your project requirement. So simplified toposolid is accessible upon selection of the site. shape editing snaps. So you can now enable or disable snapping to internal points and edges when in shape editing mode for floors, roofs, and toposolids. So by default, this option is cleared, meaning internal points and edges are ignored. The current snap behavior captures only the XY position of reference geometry in a long surface and absolute modes, but the new snap XYZ also captures the Z coordinate of visible geometry. So there are also limitations, including inability to detect points of a spline line and the need to ensure the view range displays the entire reference object. So in summary, this feature increases 3D modeling precision, allowing for higher quality models in less time. So as discussed before, Dynamo has been upgraded to 3.03. So previously, it only shows the parent node, but now the hierarchy goes to child nodes. So the bottom line is these enhancements will provide you with an improved experience when developing your automation workflows. Search in Project Browser enhancements. So when searching in Project Browser, you can now view all the child nodes when the parent node contains the keywords, so that users could get better searching results than before when they cannot remember the accurate words in the child nodes. Here are a few examples of how the search currently works. So as you can see on the screen, when the parent node contains the keywords and some of the child nodes contain the keywords, the search results return all the child nodes under the parent nodes in the searching list. But when the parent nodes contains the keywords but no child nodes contains those keywords, the search result lists all the child nodes but collapses them after searching. So this makes the search more efficiently and useful, especially such as searching for families. Dark theme for shared views. So the dark theme is now enabled for the first level user interface in shared views. It includes the properties palette, project browser, option bar, view control bar, and status bar. You can also set the drawing area or canvas theme to dark or light both the ribbon and the options dialog. This feature improves the consistency of the Revit user interface, ultimately optimizing the user experience. So the bottom line is seamless and consistent visual experience. So in Revit 2025, the parametric splicing for typical rebar feature brings a new level of detail and control to rebar modeling in 3D structures. So you can now splice one or several rebar sets at the selected position, splice by length, and modify the splice size as needed. So when we clicking along a rebar set to splice at the position or select a line reference in the view to splice all intersecting sets and select and edit the splice type to adjust lap length, splice line position, uniform or staggered layout, as well as bar shift. So alternatively, you can also splice selected sets by length according to the specified values of maximum length, minimum length, and run out position. So this new feature significantly improves user efficiency and productivity in modeling accurate reinforcement of concrete structures. So highlight bars exceeding the maximum length. So you can now easily visually inspect bars that require length adjustment. So using Revit filters, you can highlight bars exceeding the maximum length and require splitting or splicing. So the bottom line is this will enhance rebar quality control. Enhance split features for framing and columns. So it is now easier to split framing and columns that you can use split with gap. So previously, you couldn't split steel elements when they had defined steel connections. But now, splitting steel framing and columns that have steel connections has been enabled to ensure a consistent ribbon experience for accessing split and split with gap for steel members. So the bottom line is it will enhance detailed steel design. Revit Personal Accelerator UI. UI means user interface. For Revit 2025 enhanced settings. So the Revit Personal Accelerator is a Windows application that runs alongside Revit and is designed to optimize performance when working on Revit cloud models. It can be viewed in the Windows system tray. It is installed with Revit and can be updated by either the latest version of Revit or from your Autodesk account when these new features are delivered between Revit releases. So Revit uses Microsoft's .NET framework to manage UI dialogues, facilitate interactions with Windows, operate the Revit API, and more. To stay current with the technology and keep up with regular maintenance, Revit has migrated to .NET 8. So the bottom line is it improved performance across the board, an improved third-party developer experience, and integrations with modern development environments like Visual Studio Code. This extensible storage has also been restructured to minimize schema conflicts and optimize workflows. So we have plenty of reports and issues for schema conflicts in previous months. So, but now in Revit 2025, it will be removed as it will schema used by add-ons may encounter conflicts. So when working with multiple files, so it creates this conflict errors, as you can see for some users. So these improvements have been made to assist you in handling schema conflicts when they occur. So and also it restructured the usage of extensible storage to mitigate risks and optimize workflows. Optimize workflows, minimizing schema conflicts. So filter discipline updates. Based on customer feedback, discipline filters in the visibility or graphics overrides dialog have been updated. The predefined list filters in the visibility and graphic override dialog have been modified as shown in the table. For example, audiovisual devices now showing in both architecture and electrical filters and mechanical equipment in architectural, mechanical, electrical, and piping. So the bottom line is it works more efficiently with categories. So option bar removal. Some options from the option bar to the property have been moved to the property palette and to the ribbon. This relocation to the ribbon enhances visibility, while integration into the properties palette increases flexibility and accessibility. It allows for key tips, shortcuts, and other items to be closer to other functionality. So the bottom line is it's easier to find controls that are more visible and accessible. So disable mark value for MEP categories. Mark numbers found in the properties will no longer auto-generate as new elements are created. So the bottom line is streamline mark numbering for cleaner documents. So we'll now discuss sustainability. So when you want to export Revit for energy analysis, it is typically done by exporting GBXML file. Revit 2025 now includes the latest GBXML 7.03. This version will allow users to get more detailed energy consumption reporting. GBXML schema has been updated to include extended HVAC system data. GBXML export will now include zone equipment, air systems, and water loops. So the bottom line is it is more comprehensive modeling of building energy systems. Forma add-in for Revit. Autodesk Forma is having a big push for people to use Forma for master planning, solar analysis, and energy. Forma offers a fantastic feature for those looking to scale up their conceptual proposal to the next level. With the updated Forma add-in for Revit, you can turn a Forma proposal into a Revit project, and if you make further updates, you can easily send them back to Forma for more analysis and validation. So we'll now discuss analysis in Revit 2025. So annual operating schedule for energy analysis. So Revit will now allow the user to define different operating conditions and times for more accurate energy analysis. You can now easily access building operating schedules under MEP settings. So the bottom line is enable energy efficiency and define operating schedules and conditions more easily. So we'll now discuss interoperability. The IFC export mapping settings have been improved. So the Manage IFC Export Mapping Settings dialog allows you to create and save templates for IFC exports. Templates are customized by settings the IFC class and predefined type for each Revit category. Customized template settings can be exported for use in other Revit models. The bottom line is its improved collaboration with enhanced interoperability. Import or export step files. Revit support importing step files, but doesn't work on Revit LT. ST step, which stands for Standard for the Exchange of Product Data, is a universal format that can be read by most CAD software programs used in architecture. Step files are a neutral format that is not tied to any specific software. This ensures that the model can be opened and viewed even if the original software used to create it becomes obsolete in the future. So choose the appropriate Revit category when importing step files. So the bottom line is it expanded options of information exchanges. So Revit 2025 now supports 5 new GIS coordinate systems. So Revit has added support for 5 new horizontal coordinate systems. So, this can enhance integration with geodesical reference datasets. Autodesk Informed Design. Autodesk Informed Design for Revit is a platform-based solution that brings manufacturing information to the beginning of the design process to inform design decisions and improve project certainty, prevent errors, and accelerate our customers' workflows. Autodesk Informed Design add-in for Revit allows designers utilize product manufacturers' products with the constraint defined by the manufacturers in their design models. With Informed Design for Revit, designers can browse catalogs of known manufacturable building products for use in Revit projects, tailor building products to align with your building requirements, ensuring compliance with manufacturer's specifications, and ensure design decisions that are accurate and manufacturable to reduce project risk and prevent errors. So this can leverage manufacturer supply data in real time to design more quickly, accurately, and cost effectively. So with Informed Design for Revit, you can also browse the list of validated product variations to place instances quickly and easily. Modify the values of existing instances to configure replacements. Swap out of date data products with the manufacturer's latest product release. So the bottom line is designers can customize and incorporate accurate and manufacturable building product templates into their designs, ensuring greater certainty in the manufacturability and feasibility of their specified products. So we'll now discuss cloud data in Revit 2025. Coordination out to the cloud, it automatically highlights any changes that has been made. So linking coordination models from Autodesk Docs that was released last year in Revit 2024 enabled a whole new coordination workflow for Revit users. But in Revit 2025, you can now automatically check the latest consecutive versions of a link coordination model using the coordination model changes palette. So this feature is supported for coordination models coming from Revit and DWG file formats. So this will enhance linking of coordination models and to have better understanding of the objects that change in the coordination model, highlighted and visualized in project views. So we'll now discuss documentation efficiency. Sheet collections allows you to assign any sheet in the model into flexible groupings that can be referenced across Revit, such as in views, schedules, and filters. Users can now select sheet collection, which printing becomes easier and faster. So it makes project workflow more efficient. So users can have now the ability to have multiple sheets with the same number. So the bottom line of this enhancement can deliver projects faster with clear and organized sheet collections. While the browser organization for sheets and views can utilize the sheet collection parameter to filter, group, and sort views and sheets. So the view references are now available as the category for view filters and include the sheet collection information for the target view. So the bottom line, it will deliver projects faster with clear and organized sheet collections. So batch delete and add to library materials. Users can manage library materials easily than previous versions of Revit. To manage multiple project materials, simply select them and right-click to choose between deleting them from your model or adding them to a custom library. So it will quickly manage projects materials. Material thumbnail generator improvement. There is now quick setting for rendering. People who have not a good graphic cards on their machine will not take long to review materials. So we will now demonstrate how render settings can be viewed quick draft quality and production quality. So you can see that it changes the draft quality and the production quality. So you do not need to apply it and wait for it longer than necessary. So align and distribute annotations. So you can now align and distribute multiple keynotes, text notes, and tags. So it will quickly align annotations to create neat and legible drawings. So we will now demonstrate how multiple alignment works on drafting views. So what is background PDF export? So this doesn't work. This feature doesn't work with third-party PDF printers, specifically use PDF exporter. Revit has inbuilt PDF exporter. So, but the downside is you need to have installed a native PDF exporter. So previously, when exporting a PDF from Revit, your Revit session would need to complete the PDF export process before you could continue working. Now, the PDF export process can be run as a background process, allowing you to continue working on your model while the export process completes. So this enhanced PDF export feature in Revit now allows for a seamless design workflow. So room perimeter, accuracy improvement. So the method used to calculate room perimeter values has been updated in Revit 2025, resulting in improved accuracy. So the room perimeter now accounts for inner loops within rooms. Additionally, the method for calculating the perimeter of round rooms or room with arc segments has been enhanced. Users may notice changes in the room perimeters when a project is upgraded to Revit 2025. So the bottom line is users can get more accurate data from room schedules. Okay, so this is the end of the webinar. So I would like to say Cadgroup is a proud resellers of Autodesk products, MYOB, Bluebeam, HP, Cobby Labs, CTC Software, Faro, Enscape, and Adobe. And I would like to thank everyone for coming over to Cadgroup's What's New in Revit 2025 webinar. It is an honor to host this event. I hope everyone gained some new knowledge, and we'll head to Q&A after the slides. Okay. Is there any questions you would like to ask? Hello? I think we don't have any questions coming through. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I'll end this webinar. Bye. Thank you.